Good. Got it. Good. This is on page 128 of this book, the Universal Prayers. The first one on that page from Brahma Purana. Brahma Purana is one of the 18 major Puranas. Om Yam dhyayanti buddha samadhi samaye shuddham vijat sannibham nityadandamayam prasannamamalam sarveshwaram nirgunam vyakta vyakta param prapancharahitam dhyanayika gamyam vibhum tam samsara vinasha hetumajaram vande harim muktidam. Adoration unto the Lord, the destroyer of all worldliness and bestower of salvation, the undecaying and infinite being, the one who is attainable through meditation alone, who is free from illusion and beyond the manifest and the unmanifest, the one who is of the form of bliss eternal, who is gracious, taintless and without any attributes, who is the overlord, the one who is pure and limitless like the ether, and who is contemplated in samadhi by the wise. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. Let us have just a little bit adjustment here. Good. We are approaching the end of our study. Verse number 62. In this chapter, as we have been saying for some time, in the second half of this chapter 18, the emphasis, there is a big shift in the teachings of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Earlier in the earlier chapters, and even in the beginning of the 18th chapter, the whole emphasis was all the time on self-effort, work, self-effort. And now, in the last part of the Gita, the emphasis on divine grace. So these two are not separate. We think of them, self-effort is separate, divine grace is separate. Like this, we don't see this commonness. We see them as separate things. But as our understanding becomes clearer, we see that there is only divine grace. Even what we thought was our self-effort in the beginning was also divine grace. So we'll see how the two merge. Self-effort merges into divine grace, and only divine grace is felt at the end. For that to happen, you have to go through self-effort. This is a very essential stage of our growth. We have to grow into the understanding that all is only divine grace. But in the beginning, we don't see that. We cannot see that one. We have to exert self-effort. That is why, again and again in the Gita, from beginning, from the very first teaching Bhagavan Sri Krishna gave to Arjuna in the second and third slokas of second chapter. First chapter was all Arjuna's explanation of his doubts and problems. When Bhagavan began to speak in the second chapter, from verses 2 and 3 and onwards, the emphasis was on self-effort. Get up and work hard, get up and fight, get ready for fight. That was all he kept telling that one. Now it says here, mat prasvadat, tat prasad, by my grace, by his grace. So how this shift happened? And are there two separate things? No, they are only one, all divine grace only. For that to understanding, for us to come to that understanding, we have to go through the stage of self-effort. So that transition we will see here. So 62, we were doing here Sharanagati, Sharanam Gacha. In sloka 62, Bhagavan gives one of the most important instructions in the whole of Gita, not only in the Gita, in all devotional life. As long as you see God as separate, then we have to take refuge in him. He is the only refuge and ultimate refuge. All other things in which we take refuge earlier, they are not permanent. They serve us for some time, they support us for some time, but then they will all withdraw. In the time of real need, we don't find nobody is there. So what are the other refuges? We call them ashraya. In Sanskrit, it's called ashraya, means a place where we can take refuge, some source of comfort, power and comfort. For a child, mother is the ashraya. For a small child, anything it needs, it has to call the mother only. The little baby, it only knows the mother. Like that. For the child, the only refuge is mother. Then as the person grows, we take refuge in others. Then a person becomes I can do everything myself, self-reliant. I don't need anybody's support. I'm powerful. I'm capable. I don't need anybody. I can take care of me. That feeling will come. Oneself is the ashraya. Then as we grow old, we need other people's help. I need help. I cannot go anywhere. I need somebody to drive me. Earlier, I could drive anywhere I wanted to go. Now I need some support. So we take other people's help. Like this, our ashraya changes. Some people take refuge in money. If I have a lot of money, I don't need other people. I can take care of myself. Why do I need friends and relatives? I don't need anybody. If I have a lot of money, I can, whatever I want, I can buy. I can be independent. Like that feeling that money is support. Ashraya. Power is support. If I become the head of the company or the president, then I don't need to anybody's support. I can control everything. Like that, we take ashraya. So, in his teachings on devotion, Narada Maharshi says, a true devotee does not depend upon all these things. Money, friends, one's own power, one's own strength. These things are not there all the time. They are there for some time and then they will go away. We cannot depend them on all the time. Sometime they will be there. We can depend on them. The only permanent support which never leaves us is God's grace. Ultimate support is it that never changes, never diminishes, never leaves us. It was all his grace, the ultimate support. That is ashraya. We have to take refuge in God. Taking refuge in power and money, and that is only good for some time, not dependable. So Narada Maharshi says, Anya Shrayanam Tyagaha. A devotee should give up. Tyaga means giving up. Anya Shraya, other support, like money and power, position, health, one's own strength. They are not permanent. They are there for some time, then they will go. Only support is unfailing support. It is always with us. Even it was there with us when you are not counting on it. Is God's grace. That we have to remember. So that is the instruction he gives in 62. Let us see 62, sloka 62. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam. Tam eva, him alone. Eva means alone, only. Sharanam gaccham, take refuge. Sharanam means refuge. Sharanagati, you have heard the word Sharanagati, surrendering to the will of God, like that. Take refuge in him alone. Tam means whom, in whom we should take refuge. That is answered in the previous sloka, 61. Who is it in whom we have to take refuge? Tam means Ishvara. Ishvara means God. You can think of God in any way you like, in any form you like. That does not matter. God is there. So in God alone we should take tameva. In God alone we should take refuge. Other things we can depend, but we should not count on them. They'll not be permanent. My own strength will diminish with age. My property, money will be there for some time, and then they won't be there. Other people who are helping me, on whom I can depend now, they will not be there. So they are not permanent refuges. God alone. Taimeva sharanam gaccham. Whom we should take refuge in? Ishvaraha. Previous sloka, 61 is very important sloka. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantrarodhani mayaya. That we studied last time. The first line, sarva bhutanam hriddeshe. Hrit desha means in the region of the heart, hridaya. Of all beings, no exception. There is no exception in fine print. In Vedanta, no fine print. Whatever is said, that is true. Sarvabhutanam hriddesha means in the hearts of all beings, there is no exception, including those beings who don't believe in God, wicked beings, animals, plants, in all of them, inanimate objects also, he is present. Ishvaraha tishtati is present all the time, unconditionally, and does not go away. He was always there before we became, before he assumed this body. He is there now, and even after we leave the body, he will be there for us. Hanyate hanyemane sharire, we studied in second chapter. Sharire hanyemane, when the body dies, this is a temporary thing. He will be there for us. Wherever we go, in whatever form we exist, he is there for us. Unfailing support is only Ishvara. So that is what he is giving the instruction in 862. Bhagavan is saying, Tameva sharanam gaccha. Take refuge in God alone. Eva. Sarvabhavena, in every way. By heart, in our heart, in our mind, in our soul, our whole life, every aspect of our life should be surrendered to him. He is the ultimate support, only support, unfailing support, permanent, eternal support. Ashraya. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata. Now that does not mean we should not do anything. We cannot say, oh, don't have to do anything, God will take care of everything, I take refuge in him. That does not work. Refuge is there, but I still have to do my duty. To understand this one, refuge does not mean we are free from obligations. We don't have to do anything. That does not mean that. We take refuge in him, but we still have to do our duty, whatever we can. This, a couple of things are to be noted in this one. When I should say everything happens by the will of God, and until what I should do my self-effort, that we have to understand. So let us finish the second line, and we'll come back to the first line. Tat prasadat param shantim Sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam. Prapsyasi means you will obtain. What will you obtain? Shantim, param shantim, supreme peace. Para means supreme. Not conditional peace, temporary peace. In the world, we get temporary peace. When nothing is bothering us, we are peaceful. Then after some time, some problem somewhere comes, and then we are not peaceful. That is not permanent peace. That is temporary. For some time, we are peaceful. Nothing is bothering. But something goes wrong, and then our peace is gone. That's not the real kind of peace. Param Shanti means peace that only God can grant. That by His grace you can get Param. Tat prasadat, by His grace. You see the word prasada, tat prasadat, mat prasadat. Now that came here in 18th chapter. In earlier chapters, emphasis on your work. Get up and do. Fight. Get up. Be strong. Don't be weak. You do your duty. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Karma jayo hyakarmanaha. Perform your required duties. Karma kuru. Now here it says, by His grace, tat prasadat, param shantim prapsyasi. You will get supreme peace. Peace that is unconditional, eternal, always there. That does not go away. Peace that passeth understanding. The Christian people, devotees say, peace that passeth understanding, not ordinary worldly peace. Tat prasadat, by His grace, you will get param shantim, supreme peace. Also, shashvatam sthanam prapsyasi. You see in the second line of 62, shashvatam sthanam. Sthanam means abode or place. Sthanam means place. Shashvatam sthanam means permanent place. So is this place not permanent where we are now? No. We think so. We think this place is always there. I will always be there. If I have a big house, which I bought with my own money, I think this is my place. I'll be here all the time. Nobody can ask me to leave. That the sthanam is not permanent. Because this whole world is only a temporary traveler's inn, where you are stopped during our journey. When you stop in a long distance journey, you stop in a motel to take rest for how long? A day or two. Then you have to continue your journey. You can't stay there. That's not your permanent place. This world is like that one. A temporary stopping place on our journey to God. It's not our destination. This is only a stopping place. For some time we are in this world, and then we have to keep on moving. So one day we have to leave this world. It's not our permanent place. It's temporary abode. Sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam, permanent abode, which is our true abode, that is God's abode. That's where He lives. We have to go. We are going in our journey. So here we have stopped. Why did we stop? We could have continued our journey after a short time, but we are still here lingering. Why are we here? Because our desire, our karma, our prarabdha, we have to work out. Until then we are here. Once it is done, then we leave this world. It's not our permanent place. This world is not our permanent place. Some people, we may think so. It's only a temporary abode in which we are. You can see when Swami Vivekananda went to see Sri Ramakrishna early, first meeting or second meeting. Then he sang this song, Mano Chalo Nije Niketane. In Bengali, it says, "Oh my mind, let us go back to our own abode." Nijaniketan, Niketana means house. Nijaniketan means our own house. We have to go. This is not our house. This world is not our place. We think so. No. It's a temporary place. We are lingering here because of our desire. I want to stay longer. I want to live longer. And I want to be born again in a better condition. Like this desire is there. So that desire is what keeps us. Our karma keeps us. We have to work out our karma. That's all. Once that is done, you have to pack up and leave. You can't take anything with us. The only thing we can take, what can we take with us? Well, the only thing. You can't take our property, you can't take our bank account, bank balance, you can't take our position, power, money, body also we have to leave behind. The only thing we can take is what? Our karma, good and bad things we did. Those impressions will go with us and that will continue in next life. Other than that, everything has to be given up. Relatives and friends and family and job and whatever was so dear to us, we're holding on to those. It's mine, this is mine, this is mine. Everything will have to go, leave behind. Only our karma goes. Our good karma, punya we do goes with us, bad karma also goes with us. Other than that, this is not our place. Manochalo nijeniketane. So that's what he says. Shashvatam padam stanam prapsisi. What is the Shashvatam padam? It has been described before in the Gita. In the 15th chapter, sloka number 4, I think, there Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, look for that permanent place. Tata padam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gata nanivartanti bhuyaha. 15.4. Tataha padam tat parimargit. Parimargana means searching. Padam means that supreme abode. That abode, 15.3, 15.4. That permanent abode we have to look for. Tataha padam tat parimargitavyam. Which kind of place is that one? Yasmin gata, those who go there once, punanani vartanti bhoyaha, they will not come back here. Once you go to God's abode, why would we come back to this world? It's infinitely joyful, eternally joyful, blissful, ananda. God is there. Leaving him, why would we come back to this world? Struggle. Other people giving trouble, some people make us happy, some people blame us, some people praise us, sometimes health, sometimes sickness, poverty. Oh, why do we want to come back here? Done that. Once you go there, then we'll have no interest to come back. Yasmin gata nanivartanti bhoyaha. That is the supreme abode. Once you go there, no need to come back. We don't feel like coming back. It's a far superior place. God's presence is there. We will be with him all the time. Living his presence, why would we come back to live here with other people? Sometimes blame us, sometimes make us happy, sometimes give us trouble. Not our place. So this came in the 6th chapter. If in your Gita book, if you go to chapter 6, we have to understand where we have to go. We should not think this is our permanent place. Okay. 6th chapter, slokas 21-22. Let us go back to old slokas. Because this idea that's not our place has come before. Now it is emphasized. So this 21, sloka 21 in chapter 6, there Bhagavan had said, Sukamatyam tikam yattad buddhi grakyamatīndriyam veti yatra nachaivayam sitah chalati tattvataha. When the yogi experiences the endless bliss beyond the senses, atindriyam, our sense pleasures which we get here, enjoyment of money, property, wealth and pleasures and all those things, those are sense pleasures. They are limited. When you are young and in good health, you can enjoy. When old age, sense or organ begin to fail, we can't enjoy. In old age, what can we enjoy? Nothing. Young age, we can, when you are young and strong, you can enjoy everything, nice. But that will go away, fade away. That's not permanent. This is atindriyam, beyond the limitations of the senses. Indriya means senses. Atyantikam sukham, infinite peace, infinite happiness. Compared to this worldly happiness, there's infinite. Compared to that infinite happiness, worldly happiness is nothing. How much happiness can this world give? Temporarily comes and goes. That place, yatra titaha nachalati tattvataha, be seated there, having reached there once to that place, you don't come back. We don't move from there. That is infinite have. Atyantikam sukham it gives. The sukha that we get in the world is very limited, temporary comes and goes. Then next sloka, 22 in chapter number 6. Please note this two slokas. Where you have to go. Why this world is not permanent. He explained here, 22, 6, 22. Yam labdva cha param labham manyate nadikam tataha yasmin stito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. First line, yam labdva, by reaching which, that place, we are talking about the supreme abode. Yam labdva aparam labham tataha adhikam namanyate. Tata adhikam is greater than that. Tata adhikam, greater than that supreme abode where we are planning to go. Param labham namanyate. There is nothing greater, bigger than that one, the highest achievement. All achievements that we achieve in this world is limited because they are temporary. No matter how much famous we become, how much powerful we become, how rich we become, they are only there for some time. The greatness we achieve. A person can become the greatest person in history. Then after some time, what happens? That he will become part of history. Some other person will be the greatest person. Like you can see in show business, in movies and sports, people become very famous. At one point, when Michael Jordan was playing for the Bulls, the greatest basketball player, some newspaper article was there. His name was known to more people all over the world than name of President Clinton. Clinton was the president at that time. Not many people had heard of United States US president is the biggest position, president of the United States. But more than Clinton's name, Michael Jordan's name was very well known in the whole world. He was so famous. Now, how many people remember Michael Jordan? After the other people came, Scottie Pippen and Kobe Bryant and everybody, now that is temporary. That kind of fame is only for some time. But the supreme peace that we get when we go to God's abode, that does not have any time limit, always there. By reaching that, 622 we are doing. By reaching that, then nothing greater than that word. Tato adhikam namanyate. But in the case of the worldly achievement, no matter how great you become, there's still room for greatness. No matter how rich you become, there is still room for more money. We can become richer. Nothing is limitless. Everything is limited. But when you reach God's abode, our own abode, nothing excels that one. Nothing. That's the ultimate achievement people can get. Tatodikam namanyate. So that is where we have to go. That coming back to sloka 62 in chapter 18, there Bhagavan says, Param Shantim Shashvatam Sthanam Prapsyasi. You'll get supreme peace and permanent peace and Shashvatam Sthanam, permanent place. No more movement from there once you go there. So that is the ultimate. How do you get that one? Tat prasada. That happens by His grace. Our effort is necessary, but it is His grace that makes it possible. That makes our effort also is made possible by His grace only. We think it is my effort, I'm by my own power, I'm doing all these things. That my power is also because of His grace. If He is not gracious, we can't have any self-effort at all. So understand this one. Let us go back to Sri Ramakrishna's parable. A cow being tied to a pole with a 10 or 15-foot long rope. In that 15-foot as a radius circle, the cow has full freedom. It can move about, it can eat all the grass available, some of it available, it can sit down, it can do whatever it wants. Full freedom is there. It has to exert. If it's hungry, it should eat the grass available in that 15-foot radius circle. Beyond that, it cannot go. Now, if the cow is finished all the grass available to it in that circle, and still hungry and trying to reach out, but the rope is tied. The cow is tied with a rope. Then the owner will come and extend the rope. Cow is still hungry, so he'll make the rope longer, so it will have another extra space for grazing. But the owner will not increase the length of the rope if cow is sitting contentedly, happily in the circle without eating any grass. There's no need. So we have to exert to the full extent available, possible. God has given us already ability to work. God has given us ability to think and work and distinguish between right and wrong. All those things, ability are given us. You have to exert, use all of that one. And then we reach our limit. Then we should say, oh Lord, I have done my best. Now it is up to you, your grace. This was also because of his grace. Without his grace, he would not have lifted a finger. Everything happened by his grace. But we thought it was our own power. On my own effort, I am doing all these things. I don't need anybody's help. I am doing it with my own power. Like this, we think. But that is also his power. That realization will come later. When I am young and strong, I can do everything myself. I don't need to think about God. My own power, I can earn money, I can buy whatever I want, that I is there. But all that was made possible only by his grace. That understanding will come later when we reach our limit. Oh, it takes time for us to come to that understanding that everything was his grace to begin with. Now, then we realize, oh, it was all his grace. That's why this teaching comes here. Until then, all emphasis was in self-effort. In the beginning, if I say, oh, everything happens by God's grace, I don't have to do anything. No, that's not right. We have to exert to the full extent possible. Then only we can say, oh, I have done my best. Now, Lord, I need your help. Supposing God has given me a job, nice job to go to, salary, everything is nice, benefits are good. I have to go to work every day. And if I don't go to work every day and sit down and say, everything happens by God's grace, he will take care of me. No, I have to do my duty. When I have done my duty, everything to the fullest extent possible, then upon reflection, I realized that even the job was also by his grace only, it came to me. The ability to do that job also was given to me by my God. That realization that everything God's grace will come later. Until then, self-effort. So, Tameva Sharanam Gacha, take refuge in him alone, is ultimate refuge. All other refuges are there for some time, they are temporary, they'll go away. Sarva Bhavena, in every way possible, Bharata, Arjuna. Tat Prasadat, by his grace, Param Shantim Prapsasi, you'll get supreme peace, that nothing disturbs that kind of peace. Shashvatam Padam Prapsasi, Sthanam Prapsasi, so permanent abode you will get. That is his abode. This place is only a temporary place where we are there for some time. All the possessions are temporary, all relationships are temporary, they will all, separation will come. For the time I can say my family, my job, my spouse, my children, my house, my money, my body, everything can say my. But only for some time, everything will leave. My body also will leave. Everything will go, other people will go. They will be there, I have to leave, separation will come. Money in the bank is there, I cannot take it with me when I die. It will go, everything separate, nothing permanent. Shashvatam Sthanam, permanent place where you are there with the Lord, no end, no separation, no fear, no limitation. He is with us. That's our abode. That's where we have to go. And this only a temporary stopping place, this life. And we have to keep on moving. Nothing is permanent. That is the message here. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata tatprasadat param shantim sthanam prapsasi shashvata. Very important verse. Then we go to 63. Here, the Lord is coming to the concluding part of his message, conclusion of his teaching. His conclusion, his teaching ends in with sloka number 66. We will do that next time. The final sloka, number 66, called, that sloka 66 is called Charama sloka. Charama means ultimate, nothing higher than that, final instruction. We'll come to that. This is building up to that now. In 63, let us read. Iti te jnanamakyatam guhyad guhyataram maya vimrishyaita dasheshena yate chasi tatha puru. Here you see something very interesting. Bhagavan is saying here to Arjuna, I have given to you jnanam akhyatam. Akhyana means I have explained. Jnanam, this knowledge. Jnanam akhyatam. I have given this instruction, this knowledge to you. What kind of knowledge has he given? Something that is eternal, permanent, and priceless, supreme knowledge. Other kind of knowledge are temporarily useful. For example, knowledge of economics today will change. In 15, 20 years, all the things will change. In even knowledge of science also, there are changes there. If you see over a long period of time, in science also, we have to revise our understanding of the world as new discoveries bring us new revelations, new knowledge. New things are being discovered, so our old ideas have to be modified. For example, in the earlier days, people thought Earth was flat. Then they discovered, oh, it's not flat, it's a globe. It's like it's spherical, like a globe. So that awareness came. And then earlier people thought that Earth is the center of the universe and sun and all other stars are revolving around the Earth. That was how it was. Then somebody, astronomers came and said, no. The sun is the center of the solar system, the Earth and other planets are going around it. So like this, our understanding of the world changes as our new discoveries come to light. But in the case of knowledge of God, once you have it, there's no revision for that one. That is permanent knowledge. Akhyatam guhyat guhyataram. Guha, the word guhya comes from the word guha. Guha means a cave. In Hindi, I call it gufa. Cave means a place where things can be hidden. If something is hidden in a cave, we cannot see. So, hidden knowledge. Guhyam jnanam, guhyat guhyataram. More secret than the most secret jnanam. Maya, by me, te, to you, akhyatam, has been given to you. So, secret in here does not mean it's not available to everybody. Available to everybody. The Bhagavad Gita book or Upanishads and Veda books or other holy books are available in print in many languages. Anybody can buy or borrow from a library and read. Nothing hidden from that in that sense. But the true meaning of the teachings of the Lord cannot be understood, though we read the words, unless our mind is prepared. Unless our mind is prepared and receptive, you may read the slokas and nothing, no impact is made. So only to the prepared mind, knowledge will reveal itself. In the case of Newton, for example, his mind was fully prepared, receptive. That's why he could discover the laws of gravitation. Everybody had seen, so many thousands of people had seen apples falling from the tree. But how many people thought about why it is falling, the earth is attracting, and the thought didn't occur to millions of people who had seen fruits falling from tree, only to him it occurred. How? Because the mind was prepared, fully prepared. Like that one, the teachings of the Lord, everybody can read it in any language they want, but it will make sense and impact only in the lives of those people whose minds are prepared to receive this sacred knowledge. If the minds are not ready, if they are skeptical, if they don't believe in this thing, you can read, nothing, no impact is made at all. Mind must be ready. It's just like without preparation, if I go to some advanced class and sit down there, I can't understand anything. If I go to, say, mathematics 500 level course, advanced postgraduate course, I have not taken even high school mathematics. I have not gone through 4-year college. I have not taken any calculus or algebra or anything, nothing. I'm going there to the advanced math class and sitting there, nothing makes sense. It's open to me. I can read, I can sit down in any class I like. But nothing makes sense because mind is not ready. It is this teaching that Bhagavan is giving in this sacred book Gita and in other holy books is accessible only to those whose minds are ready and prepared to receive the Lord's teachings. Receptive. That is why it says Goshyad Gukhitaram. This available is accessible only to those who are ready or prepared to receive it. That one. Maya Akyatam, by me it has been explained. Whatever teaching has given so far has been explained to you. Whatever we taught about many things. We taught about Karma Yoga, he taught about Bhakti Yoga, he taught about meditation in chapter 6. He taught about Purusha and Prakriti. He said, I am present in the hearts of all beings so many times. He has said all these things he has said, and everything, they make sense. They make impact on the lives those people who are ready, receptive, and prepared to accept it and understand it. Then the teacher gives freedom to the student to accept or reject his teachings. That's the hallmark of a good teacher. The teacher does not say, you should believe in what I have said because I have said so. Not because I am saying so. Because it must make sense to you. This is what Swami Vivekananda did not accept Sri Ramakrishna's teachings in the beginning. He was skeptical. When Sri Ramakrishna was talking about his visions of the Divine Mother, Naren did not believe, oh, this may be all your mind's own imagination, he said later on. So Sri Ramakrishna said, all right, you will believe it when you yourself see it. So when Naren himself saw the Divine Mother, Sri Ramakrishna sent him to pray to Divine Mother Kali in Dakshineshwar temple when Naren wanted some help. Father had passed away, no money, nothing. People were starving in the family. Go and pray for yourself. You go to see there, Divine Mother, living presence. He forgot why he went there. He went there to ask for a job or money for the family who was starving. And his father passed away. All about went away. Divine Mother prayed only for knowledge, devotion, and went back. See, that's when same thing about Totapuri. Totapuri came there to Dakshineshwar to teach Advaita Vedanta to Sri Ramakrishna. And he came from the Advaita tradition, Totapuri. Advaita, pure, Aham Brahmasmi. There only Brahman is there, nothing else is there, the whole world is false. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. That's Totapuri's understanding. He could not accept Divine Mother and stayed in Dakshinesh for 11 months. Usually stays only for 3 days in a place. But something kept him there. There was a reason for that one. In 11 months, he never went into the Divine Kali Mother, Kali's temple. He stayed in Dakshineshwar near the Panchavati somewhere. Never went inside the temple. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell him, Divine Mother is there. I go and pray to her every day. I see her, I talk to her. He didn't accept that one, Totapuri. But finally, he had to accept that one. So one night, he had so much severe stomachache. Totapuri, when he was meditating under a tree, he never gone inside the temple to see Divine Mother. He didn't believe in it. That stomachache was so severe, he thought, I'll reject the body. For in the body is like a garment for us, for a jnani. So he said, this body is no use, give me so much trouble, I'll throw it out. I'm the Atman. What use the body for? What use is the body to me? I'm the Atman, I'm Brahman, I'm Brahmasmi. He was like that. But no matter how deep he went into the river to cast off the body, the water level did not rise above the knees. He used the other side of the Ganges river. I looked at the Dakshineshwar, just crossed the river, but he still is there. Water didn't come up at all. Then realized, oh, something flashed in him. He looked at that other side. He came back and waited. Next morning, when Sri Ramakrishna went to see him, there was a smile of knowing Sri Ramakrishna knew what was happening. Oh, no. Then for the first time in 11 months, Totapuri went inside the temple of Divine Mother Kali, prostrated, they left the place, left Dakshineshwar. See, everybody has to accept that one. When that acceptance comes, then there is no need for any authoritative book or anything. This is what the Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna. I have given you all this knowledge. Now he says in the second line of 63, very important line. Etad means this knowledge which I have given you, akyatam, maya akyatam jnanam. Etad, this knowledge which I have given you, vimarshya, examining critically. Don't accept it because Krishna said so. Whatever I have said so far, don't accept it all as true because I'm saying so. No, you examine everything critically, whatever I have said. Vimarsha, critical examination, evaluate and see for yourself whether what I have said is true or not. If you are convinced it is true, follow it. If not, reject it. That freedom to examine to the teachings of the scriptures and the teachers is given to the student in our tradition. The teacher does not say, because I say so, you accept it. No, you can question. You are encouraged to question. Then when you are convinced, then you have to accept it. Not before that one. So he says here, Vimarsha etad asheshana means completely from every point of view, thoroughly examining what I have said. This knowledge I have given you. Yate chasi tatha kuru, do as you please. See, this is the important thing. Sri Krishna does not force Arjuna to follow his instruction. So many times he said, you have to get up and fight, do your duty. You're a Kshatriya, why are you sitting down, dropping your Gandiva? You're required to fight in the battlefield, you're in the war field, why are you not fighting all this, do this, he said. Now he says, whatever I have said so far, Jnanamakyatam maya, vimarsha, examining, asheshana, clearly, exhaustively, from every point of view, examining it critically. Then you decide, yatha ichasi tatha kuru. As you decide, so you do. If you are convinced about my teaching, get up and fight. If you are not convinced, you have to fight. Your decision. Very nice point, interesting point here in the teachings of the Gita. The teacher gives freedom to the student to examine and decide whether to accept it or not, follow it or not. But not before examining it. Simply blindly saying, oh, is written in the books, so this must be true. Not like that one. Not because it is written in the books, not because our teacher has said, but because it appeals to me. I examined it, it makes sense, so I want to follow. That must be the position of the student. Now we go to sloka number 64. Summarizing the teachings. 65 contains summary of all the teachings, and 66 also. 64 is introduction to this, final conclusion. Sarva guhyatamam bhuyaha shruname paramam vachaha ishtosi me dradamiti tato vakshyami te hitam. Here Bhagavan Shri Krishna says to Arjuna, I have given you this instruction. because I consider you as very dear to me. Let me drink this one. Sarva guhyatamam. Guhya means I came before. The esoteric one does not make sense unless we are prepared. Available to everybody. But to understand, we have to have the preparation. Otherwise, it won't make sense. Suram guhyatamam. The sacred knowledge, secret knowledge. Me paramam vachaha. My supreme words. Paramam vacha. Vacha means words, teachings. Me means mind. Bhuyaha shrunu. Listen again. Listen to it again. Again, he said. Bhuya means again. Shrunu means listen. Listen to my teachings again. To my supreme teachings, Paramam Machaha, which is very sacred knowledge, hidden from you, from unprepared minds. Listen to my teachings again. Bhuyaha shrunu me vachaha. Again, listen. Summary, conclusion is summarizing everything you start before in 2 slokas, 65, 66. Why I'm saying this again to you? He says, explains in second line of 64. Ishtaha asi, you are dear to me. Asi means you are dear to me, O Arjuna. Dridamiti, dridam means very, very dear to me. Very close to me, very dear to me. Iti, because you are very dear to me. Te hitam vakshyami. Hitam means something beneficial to you, useful to you. To you, punaha vakshyami, again, boya vakshyami, I'm going to tell you again. This is a preparing Arjuna's mind to listen finally to the conclusion of Sri Krishna's teachings in 2 verses, 65, 66. After 66, the teaching ends. You can stop Gita after 66. The remaining 12 slokas in the 18th chapter are by way of conclusion, Palashruti, benefits, etc. We will do that one. So here in 64, Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Idam, Sarva Guhyatamam Me Paramam Vachaha Bhuyaha Shrunu. Bhuya means again. Again, listen to my supreme teachings. Paramam Vachaha, very sacred, Guhyatamam, accessible only to the prepared minds. Why I'm giving this to you? Ishtosime, Dradam Ishtosime. You are very dear to me, close to me. Iti. Because of that, Tataha, therefore, Te hitam punah vakshyami. Hitam is something useful, beneficial to you. I'm going to explain again. All these things that Sri Krishna has said so far, every one of these sentences are very important, beneficial, and useful. It is not anything that is useless. It's not one word in the Gita which is useless. Paramam Vacha, supreme teaching of the Lord. I've given you. Again, I'm going to give you in summary. Punah vakshyami. Again, I'm going to tell you. Me paramam vacha bhuya shrunu. Listen to me again. Then, after preparing the mind, giving freedom to Arjuna to either accept or reject, after examining clearly, Imarisheta dasheshena ete chachita kuru. Give the freedom to Arjuna. Before you do that one, finally make up your mind. Listen to me again. I'm going to teach you again this teaching that I've given you before. Then it gives his final teachings, 65, 66. That is the end of the teaching. Then some more slokas are there. Conclusion, Palashruti, etc. We'll do that one. So next time we'll study 65, 66. And then we'll continue a few more classes. Let me stop here and say the closing prayer. Om Sarve Bhavanta Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve bhadrani pashyanto ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May all be happy. Sarve bhavantu sukhino. Sarve santu niramayaha. May all be free from ill health. Amaya means some kind of normality, ill health, and sickness and other problems. Niramayaha bhavantu. May all be free from that. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Bhadra means something that is auspicious, something that is beneficial, auspicious. May all know what is beneficial, auspicious, and follow that one. That means may all lead a virtuous life. Ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. May no one be subject to any kind of suffering or misery. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace. May there be peace and joy in our hearts within the person. Intrapersonal peace within our heart. May there be peace. And second one is Adi Bhavatika Shanti. Harmony, peace among all the beings, human beings, animals, and plants. Harmony. And third peace is Adi Daivika Shanti. Peace in nature. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
Swamiji, this is
Namaskar.
Namaskar. Sri Krishna taught Bhagavad Gita to Arjun in the Kurukshetra. So how long did it take him to say it and then do it again because the armies were waiting? Or is it just no time?
We don't know. These are Gita. The question was, the Bhagavan Sri Krishna taught the Gita to Arjuna in the Kurukshetra battlefield. The weight armies were waiting for fighting. How long did it take for him to teach this 18 chapter 700 slokas? We don't know, because these are not exactly Sri Krishna's words. This was composed by Vyasa. Mahabharata and this Bhagavad Gita is 700 slokas. Part of Mahabharata was Vyasa's words. Vyasa composed this one, dictated it to Ganapati, who wrote it down. But exactly in what language, on how, in how much detail, what Sri Krishna told, his exact words, we don't know. Probably he could not explain all the 700 slokas in verse form on the battlefield, because as you said, both armies are waiting impatiently to start the fight. They're not interested in listening to philosophy. So we don't know that one, how long it took and what language he spoke, exactly what he spoke. No is what we hear from Vyasa.
But Swamiji, somebody said that Sri Krishna had stopped time and space. So the others, this is what I heard. So the others did not realize that it was this long. The time had stopped. It's like Einstein's E = mc square. When you go beyond a certain amount of atmospheric pull in the space, time stops. Like in God's abode, there is no such thing as time and space. So that made sense to me. I'm just trying to understand, Swamiji.
That somebody said that Sri Krishna stopped time and space. And so other people in the Kaurava Pandava army did not know how long it took and what happened. So in the Sri Krishna took his time to teach in detail, but other people, the time and space had been stopped by Sri Krishna. God couldn't do that one. And God's support, there is no time or space like that one. So it may be, we don't know.
Swamiji, which year Vyas wrote this? Which year was it written by Vyas?
I don't know.
Oh, I
Which year
see.
they say 2000 years old, 5000 years old, different estimates are there.
Yeah, right.
And
right.
some dates are given there. But I don't know. I don't have understanding and knowledge of all those
It's
things.
hard.
See, for me, the teachings are important. The teaching that I can practice, that I can put into practice in my life, those are interesting, important. We have to observe them. The other things are interesting too. Also, they're not. I'm not saying they're not interesting, but I personally don't know all those things. Where he taught, there's a place in Kurukshetra. I went there. There is a place where Sri Krishna actually taught this spot. They have marked some temple. Everything is there, but we don't know. Who knows all these things? Yeah, there's a place called Kurukshetra in Haryana, I think it is now. There's a temple and a lake and a tree. So people say there Krishna taught this. So like that. We don't know for certain, maybe. But the
Well,
important thing is you have to study the teachings, and some of them, not all of them, we cannot and need not also put into practice in our daily life. Then teach our goal, and that purpose is served. But some people are interested in other details also. The scholars pursue these things.
so we do have limited free will, right? Sri Ramakrishna Paramham said, it's not that everything is done by God. We do have limited
yeah,
free will.
we have limitations. We know that we have limitations. For example, a person like me, no matter how hard I try, can become a NFL football player. We're limited, right? That's limitation to my free will self-effort. So we all have limitations. We can do only certain things. And beyond that, we cannot go. Don't we have limitations? So there are limitations to free will. That is true. And even that free will, what we call my free will, is also because God's grace.
Yes.
Even that limited ability that I have to do a few things, which I can do, it's all His grace only, not my power. I may say by my own power I am speaking. No, it's by His power I am speaking.
Right.
I cannot, without His power enabling me, I can't even blink my eyes or lift my finger. So all His 100% God's grace only. But we call our free will because we have that notion that I'm a separate person, I'm this body, I can do this. That's also not the ultimate truth. Everything is 100% God's will only.
Right.
But we have this notion that I can do myself, but also given by God.
Right. See, if everything is given by God, Swamiji, then I personally believe that, yeah, it did happen in Kurukshetra, and Sri Krishna did teach Arjun, and the markings were there. We don't know exactly where, but I have 100% faith that it did happen in our birth country, and these valuable teachings, they may have obscured a little bit here and there, but the essence is still there, from the Vedas, Puranas, Brahma Sutras, and Bhagavad Gita is the jewel, the crown jewel of all of these Vedas. So yeah, I believe it did happen.
Yeah.
Bollywood makes it a little bit fancy.
Yeah,
But
so she's saying that she believes that all this did happen. The Sri Krishna and taught this to Arjuna. Maybe the place may not be exactly same, time may not be exactly same, but these things did happen. And what is the teachings in the Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, they are all true. This did happen, but exact details we don't know where, at what time, what place. Some differences may be there, but it is true they happen. That is true. We are very blessed to inherit this very precious
Yes.
spiritual heritage.
Exactly. The whole world is blessed
Mm.
with Bhagavad
Yes,
Gita.
this is teaching for everyone, not only for Indians or anything. This teaching given the Gita,
Mhm.
not for Hindus only, not for Indians only. This is universal relevance. They
Right.
never go out of fashion.
Yeah.
Whichever country our Prime Minister has visited, he has carried Bhagavad Gita and given it to them.
Good.
Yeah.
The teachings are of eternal relevance and universal validity. It never go out of fashion. Other teachings sometimes they change with time. For example, what we call Yuga Dharma, the rules about our daily eating habits, rules about pilgrimage, rules about giving charity, those may change a little bit with time. The way we do charity in India, we cannot do here. I give an example. On certain days of the month, say Dwadashi day, 12th Ekadashi, they would fast, and then on the next day they would take on a plate a little bit of rice and banana and something and go out into the street. Some cow would be standing there. They will offer it to the cow and do namaskar, put kumkum on his face or do namaskar, and they go back and then they will break the fast. Dwadashi day. So that is expressing our indebtedness to the animal kingdom, Bhutarana. You can do that in America. You don't go out and you don't see any cow standing there. So in a different way, we have to show our gratitude to the animals. So those things will change from place to place, from time to time. Those are Yuga Dharma, changeable things. But this is Shashvata Dharma. Sri Krishna says Shashvata Dharma Gopta. He is protector of the Shashvata Dharma means dharma that is never goes out of fashion, relevant in all places at all times, regardless of the place or time or century or country. Teachings are relevant. That's very, very important. Shashvata Dharma. Okay.